When your AC stops working, just call the experts at KS Services Heating and Air. They're fast and affordable. Right now, purchase any Bryant energy efficient system and save with 0% interest for 60 months with approved credit. It comes included with a 5-year labor warranty. And our fair price guarantee means that we will always give you 3 quotes for every situation. A good, better, and best. Call KS Services Heating and Air today. We roll on, whatever it takes.
It's the Weather Xtreme video. It's the morning edition. This is for Monday, August 28th. I'm James Spann. Needless to say, all eyes are still on Harvey. We have a new tropical system forming east of Alabama. And the question is for our state, when does rain come back? How much rain falls? What about the Labor Day weekend? Many questions. Let's take some time and see if we can answer all of them. And we'll start with the water vapor satellite view, which we often do. This kind of gives a nice overview of the big situation across the continental United States. We've got a trough north of the state. We've got an upper high over the western states, and the steering currents, the winds aloft are just light and variable around Harvey. It's just still meandering. It's just basically not moved much since Saturday morning. We've got high clouds over Alabama. We checked the radar here. This was the radar about 5 o'clock. We do have some echoes over Mississippi. A lot of that could be aloft. The beam is pretty high over there. And I really think most of Alabama will be dry today. There might be a sprinkle somewhere, but most of the action stays well to the west today and tomorrow. Starting off the day in the 70s across the state. Highs today only low 80s because of clouds, persistent clouds that'll be overhead. There's the watch warning map early this morning. And, of course, all the action is on Southeast Texas and South Louisiana. Flash flood watches, flash flood warnings in effect there because of Harvey. We also note still some flash flood watches for parts of the Florida Peninsula because of what should be Irma, and also flash flood watches for parts of the coast of the Carolinas for that new tropical system we'll talk about in a moment. Tornadoes remain a possibility today from Houston over to south of New Orleans on the Louisiana coast because of the circulation of Harvey. Pretty much the same deal tomorrow. No change, a risk of tornadoes from near Port Arthur and Beaumont, Texas, then across the Louisiana coast. And on day 3, which is Wednesday, again, a marginal risk of severe weather, maybe a few isolated tornadoes, extreme southeast Texas and parts of South Louisiana. Alabama not involved in any of that. Now, this is the new QPF coming from WPC, just issued an hour or so ago. And this is the rain from 7 a.m. this morning until 7 a.m. next Monday morning, Labor Day, September 4th. And the guys have a 21-inch bullseye near Houston, and that's just nothing good there. I mean, what do you say? Not much to say. And again, we've got a maximum that's on the coast of the Carolinas because of what should be Tropical Storm Irma. Let's take a closer look at the Alabama situation. This is coming from, again, WPC. Mobile and Baldwin counties near the Gulf Coast, 3 to 5 inches. It's going to be fairly wet, I'm afraid, this week into at least part of the Labor Day weekend. Maybe not all, but part. And again, we'll take you through the dailies here in a second. And up this way, for the northern half of the state, rain amounts will likely be in the 1 to 2 inch range, which is certainly manageable, and we don't expect any flooding problems where we are. So here's the big picture in the tropics. We've got, obviously, Harvey on the Texas coast. We have developing Tropical Cyclone 10, which should be Tropical Storm Irma near Jacksonville, Florida. And a new wave that's emerging off the African coast that we'll need to watch. In fact, here's the 5-day outlook, and you can see that there's a medium chance of the wave coming off the African coast developing in coming days. That's going to be one of these systems that'll stay around for a long time coming across the Atlantic. Nobody knows at this point whether it recurves, comes into the Caribbean. We just don't know. Just something to watch. Let's look at Harvey this morning. GOES 16 animation. Man, this new satellite is just fantastic. Top sustained winds, 40 miles an hour. It's basically going nowhere. Technically, the motion is southeast at 3. This is a surface analysis, and you can see the guys on this meso-analysis have the surface low around Matagorda Bay, 1,000 millibars. And you can see all the action, of course, is on the east side of the circulation. The really big rains have kind of stopped in Houston, shifted a little to the east over toward Port Arthur and Beaumont, but clearly they'll have more rain at times for several more days. It's far from over. This is the rain directly as a result from Harvey. And again, they've got that 20-inch plus ring sitting right on top of southeastern Texas, which is not good. Here's the forecast track from the Hurricane Center. The center comes out into the Gulf, but the core is just all disorganized. This should not re-strengthen into a hurricane. Comes back up toward southeast Texas and then across North Louisiana, Arkansas. And the Hurricane Center has the system as a tropical depression late Friday night near Memphis. And there's some uncertainty here. There's still some model madness, but I think this solution is right. The European kind of goes with this, and it's done a very good job with this system. And if that is right, no doubt, we're going to be pretty wet here for the latter half of the week. All right, let's look at our new system. This is developing Tropical Cyclone 10, or potential Tropical Cyclone 10. It's obviously got some shearing involved here, and this should not become a hurricane. And I don't know if it's going to be a classic tropical system. The surface low is near Jacksonville. But this should become Irma and skirt the coast of the Carolinas tomorrow. And then it jumps on out into the Atlantic as a post-tropical system. So a tropical storm watch is in effect for parts of the Carolina coast. But this thing will be long gone by the Labor Day weekend if you're going to places like Myrtle Beach. Just be aware of that. So let's look at the dailies here. This is the GFS, the Global Forecast System. This is the 06Z run valid today at 1 o'clock local time. We've got troughing north of the state and Harvey off to the west. And again, today for us, it'll be cloudy. There might be a sprinkle somewhere. Most places stay dry. Harvey is on the Texas coast. TD10 is near Jacksonville. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Same thing, a lot of clouds, probably no rain here, or if anything, maybe a few sprinkles. Harvey is still sitting on the Texas coast. What should be Irma is around the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Irma with no impact on our weather. Now we'll go to Wednesday. On the GFS, Harvey is near Houston, and very moist air is pulled northward. And according to this, we should be pretty wet, cloudy with periods of rain. We'll be in the 70s all day if this verifies. Let's go to Thursday. Harvey on the GFS is near Tyler and Longview, Texas, and again, we're pretty wet. Go to Friday. The GFS has Harvey over northeast Texas. We're still very wet, so the latter half of the week looking pretty wet. But let's look at the European. It's a little different. Instead of being over northeast Texas, it's got Harvey near Memphis, and the Hurricane Center is in agreement with the European track. Really, the effect for us is the same. It's going to be wet, not flooding rains. We don't expect any problems at this point with severe weather, although, we'll have to watch for little pockets of convection that might try and rotate in the east side of this. But for now, we're not going to mention that. But clearly, it looks pretty wet. Then we'll go to Saturday. Still looks pretty wet. This kick off the Labor Day weekend. So I would say for most of Alabama, Tennessee, and the Gulf Coast, Saturday looks to be a cloudy day with periods of rain. I don't think it rains all day. Don't expect any flooding. Severe weather, I'd say, looks fairly unlikely. But again, if some convection can get going, we'll have to watch for potential rotation. And this is Sunday, and we're still kind of moist and muggy with a chance of showers. But let's look at the European, which, again, is pretty reliable. It's considerably drier on Sunday. So, again, I might want to lean this way in the forecast. I think what the European does, it takes Harvey and takes it on northeast, kind of sweeps it out. It's hung up in the westerlies and kind of leaves us in a drier pattern. So there's great uncertainty over Sunday and Monday over the Labor Day weekend. In fact, we'll go to Monday, and this is back to the GFS troughing to the north. And again, even the GFS trend's a little drier, although this would still suggest a chance of showers. So I think for the Labor Day forecast, this is basically for Alabama and the Gulf Coast, we'll highlight a good chance of rain at times Saturday, then trending drier Sunday and Monday. But be aware that could change. Here's Monday off the European Labor Day, and that looks pretty dry for the northern half of the state. That would suggest a chance of showers for the Gulf Coast. All right, let's go to the 10 days out. This is Wednesday of next week, September 6th. Nice trough over the east, surface boundary coming in. Look at the cool temperatures over the eastern half of the nation. You know, this has kind of been the year without a summer. We just have not had that many 90-degree days. It's been pretty comfortable for Alabama. Finally, the QPF chart straight off the modeling here. This is the GFS. This is out to 10 days, out 240 hours. It's got a max of 34 inches over southeastern Texas. I don't think they see that much rain, but it looks pretty wet. Let's go to the European. Again, it's had a little better track record. It's got a max of almost 30 inches over southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana. Goodness gracious. All right, numbers. European suggesting we could be in the 70s on Wednesday because of rain. Highs only around 80 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and after that, no sign of any heat problems. Keep in mind, it could be very hot here in early September, but it's not going to be this year. Those numbers just not bad at all. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes in the blog. The next video here by 4 o'clock this afternoon. If you can't catch us this evening on ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.
AC broken? Just call KS Services Heating and Air. All Bryant energy-efficient systems come with a 5-year labor warranty, and our fair price guarantee means that we'll always give you 3 quotes for every situation. Just call KS Services Heating and Air today.